Hear how my guest today overcame being on welfare, living in her car as a single mom with 3 small children, how she overcame all of that, became a multimillionaire all through network marketing. You're not going to want to miss this, my friend. Tune in. Hello, my friend. My name is Samantha Gamble, founder of the SPSP community, and I am obsessed with helping single parents build the successful home business they want so they can live the life they truly deserve. I'm a single mom of 2 amazing daughters and 3 dogs who was able to create financial and time freedom all while working from home. And I have taught thousands of people around the world just like you how to do the exact same thing. I'll teach you the tried and true secrets to building a career that you will absolutely love, all while being able to be a present parent. We will talk about it all here, my friends. Nothing will be off limits. Think of this as your single parent happy hour with like-minded friends mixed with entrepreneurial school. So get ready to be challenged, empowered, and encouraged, all while you learn. This is the Single Parent Superpower Podcast. Well, hello, my friend, and welcome to this episode of Single Parent Superpower Podcast. And I am so happy to announce that we have our very first guest of our podcast, the one and only Lisa Griggs. And she is a dear friend of mine, thankfully. But more importantly than that, she's a very successful entrepreneur, a motivator. She's an author. But her number one job has always been a mother of her 3 beautiful, amazing children who are now 17, 16, and 19. But, Lisa's story, the reason why I wanted to have her on here, especially as our very first guest, is because her story is extremely unique. Yes, she's a single mom who's worked hard and has had tremendous amount of success. That's all true. But she has had a set of circumstances thrown her way in the past that I don't know. I really don't know how, Lisa, how you're able to pull yourself up out of and gain your composure, pull yourself up and make a success of yourself, your career, your family all over again. Back in the late 2011, 2014, you're on welfare. So for 3 years, you're on welfare, and then you're homeless with your 3 children for one of those years. I just have to say you are an incredible inspiration and a great, as I told you earlier before we started recording here, that you are a great example of someone who's greater than their environment. So I really think that your story could really motivate and empower so many people around the globe, especially all of our listeners here today. So thank you so much for being our very first guest.
Well, thank you for having me, Sam. I'm so excited. This just feels so divine, and just really excited to have a conversation today to just uplift and inspire and just encourage, whoever's listening that, just see if we can add some value, true value into their lives.
That's awesome. And I love what you say. You're only one person away from your destiny.
Yes. Yeah. I think that part of the whole human journey, truly, no matter if you're a single mom, single dad, married, just anybody humaning on this earth, I feel like their journey is mostly reclaiming their self-worth. And I'm happy to say that most recently, at almost 50 years old, I have reclaimed my self-worth. So no more is it a journey of reclaiming the self-worth. Now it is reclaimed.
Well, congratulations.
So yes, I do believe that everybody is one person away from their destiny. And I used to think that maybe that was somebody outside of themselves, just because I'm, a networker. And I believe that by connecting with people, that can be very life-changing. But I also believe that we are that person that we're waiting for, So I think that when I say that, it's, yes, you could be one person away from your destiny, but that one person is actually yourself.
Wow.
I love these kind of podcasts. I love what you do.
I guess that's
so anyway, so that's who it is. That one person is actually ourselves.
Wow. I love that. I absolutely love that. And yeah, because in network marketing, you always think, okay, who else can I talk to? Who else can I talk to? You never think about yourself.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. And it all starts with us. That's awesome. And I have to say, I can't even imagine what it was like being homeless with 3 children. And, I made such a great point earlier when we were talking that, must have been so hard with 3 kids. But then what did you say to me?
Well, I think that on the opposite end of that stick of it being hard is also that it can be very easy. And I think that, I think if we look at it like this is hard, what we're going through, then we're going to attract and we're going to manifest more of that. So how do we get to the other side of that stick? How do we get to it's easy? Well, when it's fun, it's easy. And
Yeah.
so largely my life, thankfully, has been made up of having fun. And how can I do this and still have fun? How can I raise these 3 kids and still have fun? And my kids were a big motivating force for me. I mean, really the largest motivating force for me behind everything that I wanted to do in this industry and everything that I wanted to achieve. Being a single mom and being on welfare was extremely disappointing as a parent. And I never thought that I would be in that position at 40 years old. So, being in network marketing, it really gave me back my sense of dignity as a woman and as a mom, because I had support. I had support of beautiful women around me that were incredible moms and that were very inspiring to me. And I just kept thinking, well, if they can do it, then I should be able to do it. And I think it was just aligning that desire for wanting to be inspiring to my kids and wanting to be good for them that was just a big driving force behind me. It was really the wind at my back, truthfully. Wow. That it didn't have to be hard because I saw that other women were achieving great success in our industry. And I thought, well, okay, then there's got to be something here. And it wasn't like I had these huge outlandish goals. I just wanted to make $500 a month. I was homeschooling my kids and I just wanted to make $500 a month, fun money. I wanted fun money that I could just spend on my kids. If I wanted to go buy them a Tickle Me Elmo, or I wanted to go get my nails done, or whatever it was. It wasn't this big, huge, like, I want to be an overnight success. It was just, I want to be a good mom to my kids. That's all it was. And I wanted them to have fun.
Yeah. Well, you striving for $500 a month has turned into millions of dollars, not only for you, but every people on your team and people around the world you've helped. So that $500 was a lot.
Yeah. And it's been fun, believe me.
I know. I've seen you on stage. You're fun. And I have to ask you, so, now more than ever, people are working from home or trying to work from home or wanting to work from home. And, being a parent, and especially a single parent, with trying to, balance everything that goes on in the home and everything else that goes outside of the home. And so how can you, like, what are your 5 best tips that you can give for work at home parents, how to kind of balance their entrepreneur life and their parent life? And what would you recommend? Like, what are your top 5?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me has just like who I am has evolved, being in this industry. Like, there's a saying that network marketing can be a self-improvement course with a compensation plan attached to it. Right. So I evolved a lot as a woman over the last, just even like 10 years. I mean, I'm not even the same person that I was 5 minutes ago. Right. Or even yesterday as a result of this conversation. Right. So I think the first thing I would say is that what has helped me where I'm at right now in my life is that I have a purposeful routine for myself. Right. So basically, we've heard it over and over. When you get on the plane, put your oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on anybody else. So I feel like self-care is one of the most important things in the routine of setting your day. So what are you doing right when you wake up? that's like super important to me. So I would say the most important tip that I could give you is to set that, set the mood of your day by the routine that you have. Like I get up and I walk with my daughter. She's 19 years old and we walk every morning 3 miles. And it's a time for us to engage, for me to find out what's going on in her life. It's healthy. It gets we're getting the body moving. We're getting the blood moving. Of course, we're, just waking up, kind of rolling out of bed. But I think that that's also been a very valuable time in a lot of ways. So I would say definitely just the routine. I meditate. I do Reiki. I do a lot of different modalities to help me just kind of elevate my mood so that I can get out ahead of my day. That's super important because I know that I'm going to be dealing with kids and people and dogs and cats and, traffic and what have you, for whatever that day, may uphold. Right. So that would be, I think, one of the really the most important thing. I mean, I know you said 5 tips, but I think there's so much encompassing that. Yeah. That if I had to sum it up in 5 tips, it'd be like, get your body active, set that intention for your day, get your mood elevated before you start checking your emails and answering calls and, you know what I mean? Putting out fires and handling distributors and kids and all these other things, and just really having self-care for you, really putting your oxygen mask on first and doing that for yourself first before you go about your day. You're going to have plenty of time to deal with your whole day. You can take 20 minutes and just, get into your Zen space, right?
That's so true, because I think, and I'm sure this is true of every parent, but I really only know being a single parent, and it's very difficult. It's almost taking time for yourself. There's almost a little bit of guilt sometimes, of, oh gosh, I'm spending this time on myself. I should be doing this with the kids, or this with the, it's always, I should be helping someone else, something else, and versus taking a breath and putting on your own oxygen mask. Because you're absolutely right. We're not good to anybody.
That's right.
If we're not whole, right?
That's right. That's right.
I love it. That's a great reminder. And and it was probably lead into your answer for this too, is like, you've had, I can't imagine how many breakdowns. I don't know about you, but through my journey, I've moments of crying in the shower. The shower seems to be the place, but but that's just life. And I don't know a parent on earth, especially a single parent, who hasn't had those moments, because we have all the responsibility of the finances, the homework, the doctor's appointments, the everything. The buck stops with us. And so what, out of the breakdowns that you have encountered throughout your years, what can you what's your philosophy on how you can take those breakdowns and lead them into breakthroughs?
Well, the biggest thing with regard to breakdowns and breakthroughs is, thank God they don't happen too often, right? But I think the biggest thing is your support system. Friends can be great therapists. Great therapists. And, I have a saying, like with my girlfriends, which are really like my soul sisters, that you don't have to have a whole bunch of people. Your circle literally can be a dot. You can have holies of holies relationships, which you can probably count on, your one hand, 5 or less people. And those are the people that you can tell anything to, and they're not going to judge you, and you're not going to see your business on Facebook or Instagram or, TikTok the next day. Or then, you have your inner court relationships, which are your acquaintances. And then you have your outer court relationships, which are also acquaintances, but people that maybe don't know as well. And I think that, relationships are where it's at, where it's called, what it has to do with breakthroughs, because, your support system and who you're around can lead very strongly to that, can lead to your breakthroughs. Because a lot of times we don't even take that time to reflect and really put ourselves on the chopping block and kind of look at, okay, what's my part in this? You know, I've obviously attracted this experience into my life because we know that words don't teach, only life experiences do, right? So if we're attracting these experiences into our life, what is leading to these breakdowns? Because I think about a lot, you know, like I'm a big believer in the universal laws. So I think about, you know, this is such a great question because of course we want breakthroughs, right? But if we have a desire in our heart, right? And we kind of launch that rocket of desire that, you know, we want to make more money. We might actually create in our own experience some kind of contrasting experience, meaning like, for instance, you want to make more money, but you hate your job. And then the next week, all of a sudden, you get told that they're selling the company and there's a big merger and now you don't have a job anymore. Well, now you've got to go out and find something new, right? So I think that that's where it can lead to a breakthrough because you've now launched this big rocket of desire that you want more in your life. So for me, I think it's actually a very beautiful thing. And then just surrounding yourself with people that can support you, that when you call them on the phone, you say, hey, I'm having a breakdown. You know, you've got your little therapist around you of your friends and your soul sisters to say, hey, you know what? Let me talk you off this ledge. You know, you've been here before. Remember your past deliverances. This too shall pass. You're going to get through this. And then you'll see that, you know, you've been here before. There's nothing really serious going on. You know, that's what I think.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. And, I have to agree with you. It's fortunately the breakdowns never last for long. I look at them as waves, you know, and, you know, my girls now are 23 and 21 and we're in a much different space than we were, you know, 10 years ago. But, gosh, yeah, fortunately the waves come and they go and you come out better on the other side. Especially what I found is if you're clear on what it is that you want, then your breakthroughs kind of seem to be at the other end of that breakdown. You know, like what you said, actually.
Definitely more intentional.
Yeah, exactly. And I, based on everyone that I've talked to throughout the years, one thing that seems that everyone kind of has in common that once in a while, and sometimes unfortunately people are kind of reside in this feeling, and that is the feeling of not being worthy, like they're not enough. They put those limiting beliefs on themselves, which then handicaps any future success. And I'm talking about success, not even just monetarily, but success as a parent, success as a person, just success in general. So like what advice can you give to kind of shed those beliefs? Because some people would look at your life and your journey, and I mean, now you are amazingly successful and you have been now for a number of years, but you were living in your car with 3 small children at the time. And, you know, if anyone could kind of crawl up in a hole and get in the fetal position and say, oh, I'm just not good at this. I'm not good at life. Look at my situation. This isn't good. And so I could see, and no one would blame you for sinking into that mode. But how do you shed that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, and shed that so you can have your unlimited success versus limiting yourself?
Right. That's such a great question because I feel like when you say, this question, it's like all I'm hearing in my mind is surrendering. You know, I am a faith-filled woman. I do love Jesus. I love a lot of philosophers as well. You know, Buddha. You know, I also try to live the Tao as much as I can. You know, there's a lot of different great teachings out there. I try to follow Jesus's teachings as much as possible. I think that when I was actually in that place in my life, you reminded me just now because I was there. I mean, I remember not being able to afford to give my kids a Christmas. And I was so broken over that when I was on welfare. And I couldn't afford to even have them for Christmas because I mean, I literally got them one gift. And I felt so defeated in that space. And I remember just literally getting into a fetal position. And I heard, in my own inner being, God, whatever, however you want to say it, my angels just speaking to my heart that just because my circumstances weren't amazing didn't mean that I wasn't amazing. And that was directly related to my own self-worth. And I basically just got myself out of the way, my own belief system of my own unworthiness. And I was not really determined, but like just surrendering to the process of, God, I cannot have another day like this. Like, please, I cannot have another day like this. And within a year, my life was radically changed. I mean, radically changed. But I believe that it's ego that would get in the way of us just being able to surrender to the, surrender to the process of something outside of ourselves, I guess, something universal, something greater and bigger than our problems or our belief systems. And that feels very expansive to me. Like, even when you think about the universe, it's expanding every day. So we have that ability to expand. I love what you said. What did you say again at the beginning about the expansion? Because that, or our environment.
Yeah, you being bigger than your environment.
Yes, it's so huge to really start to really meditate on these things and think about these things and surrender to that process. Because even Wayne Dyer, I mean, he was a great teacher, and he said, there is a spiritual solution to every problem. And I really believe this walk and this journey is a very spiritual journey here on this earth. I really, really do believe that. And if people would submit themselves to that process of spirituality, they would see that there is a spiritual solution for every problem that they're going through. And mine was simply just basically crying out to God, crying out to the universe, the ethos, my angels, whatever, my guides, and just saying, I cannot do this for one more day. It's too painful. Help me. And surrendering to that process. And then that was it. I mean, within a year, me just surrendering to that, just my life changed. I start to see things happen and line up very divinely. And, almost kismet, almost like bigger than what I could create. Right. So it was huge for me. It was an awesome thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were pretty crystal clear on what you wanted too, right? I mean, it was
100%.
Yeah. So, because I've heard a lot of people, they say, well, I've prayed and I've manifested and I do my, I do my meditations and, I've tried to manifest and it's just not working. Well, are you specific on what it is that you want, or are you just,
So I'm very intentional. I believe very strongly in vision boards, and I actually call them scrapbooking boards now, because everything that I put on my vision board comes to pass. And that's actually scriptural too. I mean, that is Habakkuk 2:2 discusses that, where it says, write it down and make it plain. And even though the vision tarries, it will come to pass. So anything that you put down in writing or you put down visually, that's where your focus is going. That's where your deliberate focus is being channeled to. So yes, it's got to be intentional. It's got to be deliberate. And also you have to feel as though you already have it. So I don't pray and beg over and over and over again. I ask one time and then I just thank the rest of the time. And through the appreciation of what I already have and what I've already experienced, right? Like appreciating that, someone gave me an air mattress to sleep on, appreciating that somebody gave me a set of dishes, just starting there, appreciating that I have, beautiful children, and getting away from the subject of you're homeless and you're on welfare and you can't make it and you're not good enough and you don't know anything about this industry, and, just literally shifting your mood, because it is all about mood at the end of the day. So when you get deliberate in your focus, then it elevates your mood naturally. that's what it does. You feel your way through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Ray Higdon talks about this a lot. Um, and affirmations are great. And a lot of people do affirmations, but there's words, right? But like what you're talking about, having the actual image. And I have a photo album of my vision board. I'm not very crafty at all.
That's okay. I've seen vision boards where they're literal lists.
Yeah. Mine is I have a little photo album in my phone with pictures, and then each picture creates an emotion.
Yes.
And so it's that emotion that ignites your subconscious, and then your subconscious is actually really the author of your life. And
100%.
And so
95% of it, Sam. 95% of it. That is the key to the whole thing. Your subconscious.
Yeah, I love what you're saying here, because it's so true. And I know, and people have heard about vision boards and affirmations and that, but I don't think anyone, at least I didn't, to know that you have that emotion behind it, and that's even like putting on a song that creates a great emotion from you, and be in that space as you're going through your vision board and looking at it and adding to it. And that really all helps. So
yeah, that's the biggest piece of it, is the subconscious, because they say 95% of your life is created in your subconscious. So we have all these patterns and templates that we've picked up as children, right? Coping mechanisms and different things from our environment. And then now culturally, what kids are experiencing, it's very different. We have a lot of social media culture being poured into them. And even with how I parent my kids, I parent my kids from the vortex. Like, my son will come out and he'll say, well, Mom, the problem with you is that, you want to be my friend. You treat me like I'm your friend. And I said, well, Judah, you were born as 3,000 years old. So you're stuck in a child's body, but I know that you're a very evolved soul. So, even the difference, like, I don't see my kids like they're my little minions, and it's not some big accomplishment if I can get my kids to not get a tattoo or not get a piercing or, obey me. That's not a huge accomplishment for me. What's a huge accomplishment for me is when my kids are living their best lives, living their dream, living their passion, and seeing their mom elevated in her own mood to help them to create that. It's like, I tell my kids, you're in trouble. Get over here and create a new vision for your life. Sit down and do a vision board and create a new vision for your life. So I'm just a big believer in, like, let live and, just be free and let them create as well, from their place of being.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of speaks to the whole reason why I put the Single Parent Superpower podcast together, as well as the SPSP community membership together, to create that community of empowering and support and encouraging each other. And within that, really, getting tips and insights of things that you're sharing and bringing that into this community to help everyone. Because being a single parent, it can be hard, it can be lonely, it can be all the things, right? Yeah. And if you have a community of people that, because I've never had my children do a vision board. They know that I have my photo album. They know I do that, but I've never sat them down even and said, you need to do this. You should try this. And, that's a great idea. It's a great idea.
I think, I do it a lot with the kids that come around the house, encourage them to do the youth to do vision boards. I talk to them like they're adults. I don't like, if a child's in front of me, it's like, it's you're creating too, from your space, putting the responsibility back on them.
Yeah, I remember one time, this is years ago, Taylor was 3 or 4 years old, and we had a family friend staying with us for a while. And, and every time he was around kids, he's talking, in the little baby voice, talk the little kid. And so he was talking to Taylor as if she's this tiny little baby. And she looked at him like, who in the heck do you think you're talking to? And she didn't even know how to respond. And he said, I don't think Taylor likes me. I said, just talk to her like a person.
Yes.
and so the next morning he saw her and he said, hey, Taylor, how's it going? Good, thanks. How are you?
Exactly. Right. I don't know why we think that they're humans too.
I know. It's so funny. And they
on the
learn
earth a little bit lesser time physically, but not necessarily. There's a lot of kids that are here, very old souls, very, very old souls.
Yeah, I agree with you. And they learn so much by watching us. So,
yes,
have taken that leap to be entrepreneurs and build a business in network marketing. Network marketing isn't easy. It's hard work and it's hard, but anything worthwhile usually is. But it's super simple. And I think it's a great example with you. If you can build your business from home in network marketing, your kids are going to see you go through the ups and downs of your business, but they're going to see you handling it, and they're going to see you have that success and create the lifestyle that you want for your family. And them being able to witness that, like your children being able to witness you going from where you were to where you are now, is just the best life lesson that it's worth way more than any type of university education ever. What you've given them is absolutely just priceless.
Thank you for that.
I admire you, and I just think that you're going to help so many people with your story, just giving them hope. Everyone, not every day is rosy day with unicorns and rainbows, but gosh, to look back and say, okay, you know what, Lisa was in her car with 3 small children, homeless for a year. If she can do it, I can do it. I'm just having a rough day. I can do it. I can do this.
That's right. That's right.
And with that, I want to close out with two things, if I could, a little bit more tactical, if you will. So, a lot of the people who are part of SPSP community now and in the future, and yes, they like they in the beginning, you want to make that $500, but you've built an empire now. And so what characteristics do you think that people need to have to be that good leader to help encourage and empower other people? Because I always talk about, you get started with a network marketing company, it's just you, but is not going to always be just you. As you grow, it's going to end up being thousands and thousands and thousands of people, if you stay consistent, if you do the work, all the ifs, but you're going to be responsible for this massive team. So what characteristics do you believe that every person should have to be that great leader to help motivate and empower people to be their best selves?
The biggest thing is, number one, to be teachable and coachable. Because, when we come into this industry, we have our own ideas about the way life works and the way this business works. And I think that, being teachable, being coachable, getting the ego out of the way, surrendering to that process of learning everything that you can, because you can learn and earn at the same time. That's why this is such a beautiful, beautiful model. It's I love this model because, it's just the people that you meet, the experiences that you get to have. It's really, really awesome. It really is a truly awesome model. I think that the second thing would be to be relational. You have to be relational. You have to be willing to talk to people as much as possible, because at the end of the day, another great universal law is the law of averages. And if you talk to enough people, it will eventually kick in. If you talk to 5 people a day versus talking to 5,000 people a day, right? You're going to have a lot quicker success, maybe. But still, even I think Steve Jobs said that, an overnight success is still 5 years. 5 years is an overnight success. So even if you gave yourself 5 years in network marketing and you built up, a sizable residual or a sizable team or a network of people that you have all, moving towards one common goal, and you're having fun with it, it's really a beautiful model because you're just doing that work one time and then you're getting paid over and over and over again. It is beautiful. Yes. Work from home. Yes. Present parenting, right? I mean, all the things that you've discussed in your podcast, Sam, right? But I think the real just caveat for this business is the fact that you don't have to trade your time for money one time. It's that you do that work one time and you're leveraged for the rest of your life. And I pray that people really, if they get anything out of this industry or out of this call today, they realize, or this podcast, this conversation, that it is the law of averages. Eventually, it has to work out. Eventually, I mean, you're going to get all these no's, but then you're going to get a yes. So if you get a certain amount of no's, eventually you're going to get the right yeses. And that's a universal law. It's like a law of gravity. We can't say, oh, no, we don't like that law. Like it just works. So to me, I think that's the most awesome thing about this industry is that once you get, you really get going and you start to get some traction, you could build something that's a real legacy for your family. And that's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 100%. And then the last thing I'm going to ask, because I get, okay, so me, even when I first got started in the industry, I didn't even know the industry even existed, by the way. I didn't even know. I was so clueless. And the guy who was telling me about it, I owned a shipping company ages ago, and he was one of my couriers, and I sold that, and he became a office manager for a network marketing company. He says, and he knew I was going bored out of my skull. But I didn't go to college. I didn't have an education. So like, what do I do? And he said, you should really come check out this network marketing company. And like, what the heck is that? And he says, oh, it's great. People are making so much money. They're selling this nutrition stuff. And I'm like, okay, I don't know anything about nutrition. I am not a salesperson either. Like that does not sound like it's for me. And then he went on and showed me the comp plan, like a trifold pamphlet, showed me, and it was, lines and levels and generation. I'm like, I have no idea what it is you're trying to tell me here. but I said my first thing, I am not a salesperson, so this is just not for me. Fortunately, I listened to a conference call. I heard people that were just like me, and they were having success. And I thought, okay, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. I just need to be told what to do, and I'll go do it. And sure enough, I did. But so, what is your best tip for becoming a successful salesperson? I know people say, I hate sales. Well, we're sold every day. I mean, the computer that we're talking on right now, someone sold it to us.
That's right.
The glasses you're wearing right now, someone sold them to you. My headphones, someone sold them. So we're constantly being sold. So selling isn't a bad word. It's actually great, especially if you have something that's beneficial. But what is your best tip for becoming a successful salesperson?
I would say don't prejudge. Don't prejudge. It's the biggest part of this whole game that we're playing. We don't know where people are at. We don't know what they've got going on. So when someone's in front of us, we can't prejudge them, right? We just got to talk to everybody. That's all it is. It's just sharing the message, and having fun with it, having a good time with it. And it's not, to me, it isn't sales because, it's just sharing. Really, that's the truth. I mean, it is just sharing your knowledge and your information with someone else. That's all it is.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lisa. You are a true gem, an amazing person, an amazing mom, and an outstanding entrepreneur. And, thank you for your time, and thank you for being our very first guest.
It's awesome. Absolutely amazing. I feel so honored. Thank you. I feel so honored, and I love you. And I'm so excited for what you're doing. And thank you so much for bringing this to the community of single parenting, and this whole superpower thing that you're doing. I just love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm here for it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I love you too. Thank you for everything, truly.
Thank you, Sam.
Well, high five, my friend, and let's pop that champagne because we just finished another episode of the Single Parent Superpower podcast together. And I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and empowered. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt you can do this. I'd love to hear what other topics you'd like for me to dive into. So do me a favor, head on over to www.spspcommunity.com/podcast and let me know in the comments where you're struggling, where I can help. And while you're there, feel free to click the link on that page to get your free gift. And it's the ultimate home business success guide for single parents. And this is where you'll get the 7 insider tips to build the business you want so you can live the life that you deserve. And it's free. So go ahead and make sure you rate and subscribe to this podcast so you never miss a single episode. And until next time, my friend, this is Samantha Gamble, and I can't wait to connect with you inside the comment section on spspcommunity.com/podcast.